Hi, welcome to Lovin Sheila Shorts. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about relationships and dating, in particular, maybe how to avoid being a serial dater. Now, I've been in a bit of a trilogy as far as dating goes. I share with you my marriage, my divorce. I share with you some relationship information about my relationship with my father. And then I started the trilogy where I started my first dating experience and then my next relationship. And I'm going to finish up the finale of the trilogy in the coming week and just share with you some of my experiences that brought me to the point where I am now. I just wanted to share with you what I feel like I've learned in this process because though some of these things may not seem like good experiences, they were because they taught me a lot and they helped ground me and center me for this next stage of my life. Now, before I get on to the finale, I wanted to share a couple things with you in the interim. Um, the powerful thing is that we learn through all of this, good and bad, and we gain self-awareness if we pay attention. And that's definitely what I've attained through this process. For me, I've learned my patterns and what I'm attracted to, and how I overlook some things to make sure my fairy tale continues. I can't have any regrets because I've learned so much through these experiences. Instead of regrets, I've just taken them as lessons, and that's what I've been sharing with you is the lessons that I've learned. Because if you can avoid some of these pitfalls, or if you can avoid some of the heartache, I would like for you to do that. Unfortunately, dating has been kind of set up as a battlefield. And I talked about this a little bit in Don't Be Disarmed, there's a short I did a couple months ago when I was in the Bahamas. And I wanted to revisit it because I was in the Bahamas and now you can hear where the seagulls and you couldn't hear what I was saying. And so I want to kind of follow up with that. But if you can go back and listen to it, because I think it's a quick little tidbit. So unfortunately, dating has been kind of set up like as a battlefield, a battleground, a bit of war, us against them. And I don't necessarily believe it should be. I just think we should be prepared and equipped and have full awareness and full armor in order to proceed. And armor just being as far as being protected and knowing how to protect yourself and see red flags and pivot when you need to and get out and run, do whatever you have to do to make sure that you are protecting yourself and that you are in a safe place. In this dating battlefield, the first thing we have to do is we have to meet people, and that's certainly a challenge for us here in 2025. How do you do it? I mean, for me, in my trilogy, I met people through socials, spinning the block, um, and restaurants, things like that. But I know in person meeting is not happening so much anymore. I prefer it, but it's not 2025. So meeting people is half the battle. And once we meet, there's the challenge. The challenge of communicating our wants and needs without feeling like we're going to run someone off. I mean, I met someone and he said I told him like within our first date like 3 times that I wanted to eventually be married. It didn't run him off, but he told that to me. He told me that later. But it's like important that you know where I'm coming from. I'm not here just to be like a serial dater. I'm trying to avoid being a serial dater. So we have to communicate that in some kind of way, not run people off. But I guess if they're interested, they'll stick around. So we have that concern, but at the same time, we don't want to waste our time nor their time. So it's good to express what you want or where you want to go early so we can cut through all the BS, if you will. Once you proceed and you decide you're going to see each other, which is where I find myself. I spoke previously about this in the rules of engagement, disarmed, in terms of not paying attention to red flags and proceeding anyway. And that certainly is a way that we can be disarmed, okay? Because there are no guardrails. There's nothing to protect you. So that's one thing. When you set out your intentions and you make it plain initially, and everyone knows what you want, they can exit, or they can acquiesce, or you can just forget what you want and go along with what they want. And that's the area of disarmament that we want to avoid. I found as I was going through this road previously, there were some holes in my armor. And those are things that I had to address. And I want to talk to you a little bit about how I addressed them. I really had to start paying attention to my intuition, something that is very strong, but sometimes I would like push it aside because I want what I want. And I had to pay attention and even to be discerning. And even if you like what's before you, do what's best for you. Dig in and do what's best for you, because we're not tempted with things we don't like or don't want. We're tempted with things that we like, and we don't want imposters to come in and rob us of our opportunity to get something real. So just pay attention, be discerning, pay attention to your intuition, because unfortunately dating has been set up in a way that it resembles war, and it has become a battlefield or a battleground. We are at war with what we want and what feels good, kind of versus what we have and what we truly need. On the positive side, once we go through some things, we learn from our experience. If we're smart, we gain the insight we need to make better decisions. And I still have that on my refrigerator. Make good decisions. It's important. It's critical. Now, if we do that, our foundation becomes stronger. And the foundation is us with a strong sense of self and identity and a strong spirit and centered. And from that, with that place, we get a sense of contentment. And from that place of contentment, we are more apt to make better decisions in regards to relationships and dating. At that point, if we're disarmed from that place, it's because a safe place has been established and proven. And quite frankly, being disarmed in this battlefield is the final destination. It's what we want. And when we want a relationship, that's what we want. We want to be disarmed. We want to put our guard down and love freely and give freely and be ourselves. But getting there, the process, it's difficult. And that disarmament is earned and not given. Okay? Um, Places in my life, my time, my heart is not something I'm prepared to give away because it costs something. And as I once heard before, it doesn't go on sale. It costs what it costs. And so we have to see if they're willing to give what needs to be given in order to gain our heart. And we need to protect it, and we need to understand that it's a gift, and it's a gift, but it does cost. It's costly. It requires a lot. My heart is open. What I've learned is that I need to take my time. I know I've had in the past in relationships and dating, I wanted to move quickly and fall in love and get to the good part. Okay, I'm ready to get to the good part, the happily ever after. But I realize now that you got to go through the process. You got to go through the work. And so I'm taking my time. And that's what I would encourage you to do. Like I said in Rules of Engagement, I'm taking about 4 months just to get to know someone and to see how they are in different situations, how they respond in different situations, how they react, how they respond to me, how they live, how my nervous system responds to them. Are they authentic? Are they caring, considerate? Do they help me move with ease, to help me stay in my delicate flower stage, in my soft girl era? Do they recognize that I am a delicate flower, or do they challenge me? Because I have had people challenge my delicate flower status. And if you don't recognize it, obviously we're not for each other. These are all the things that I find in my, for lack of a better word, proving stage before I make a commitment. At this stage in my life, just like in war, the stakes are high. And I don't want to be a serial dater. I want to find the one. So I have to see all these things before I make the commitment um, in this high stakes game, or this high stakes battlefield, I should say. So there are so many things that need to be considered in dating and trying to move toward a relationship. and not just keep doing this turnover, rapid turnover. In order to prevent being a serial dater and to keep the stakes, I guess, manageable, we have to observe and make sure all these things are in alignment with what our wants and our needs are. And it's best when we are coming from a place of contentment, which is what I talked about in our last episode, number 35, content or not content, to be or not to be. Um, we want to come from a place of contentment and not desperation and loneliness. And once the person that you're involved with has demonstrated that they are emotionally available and capable and willing to participate in a healthy relationship, you can be disarmed. You have been disarmed, and you can proceed and remove the tanks and get rid of your arsenal. Remove the tanks, get rid of your arsenal, and love freely. The process of disarmament requires more time, but I believe it can lead to better, sustainable, long-term relationships that evolve and take us where we want to go. For me, it's marriage. It's not life partnership. It's marriage, and so I have to take my time. And I suggest if that's what you're looking for, take your time and see who the person is, because we don't want to keep investing and investing and then starting over. You know, I don't want to invest another year of my life in something that is not really going where I want it to go. And so I have to take my time, observe, see what's going on, see who they are, see if I can relax my nervous system, see if I can build with them, see goals for creating the life we want are aligned, and then move forward. But remember, the goal is to be disarmed. The goal is for disarmament to happen. It can happen. Also remember, healing isn't linear. We never know what's going to trigger us and what's going to make some things pop up. So just know you're a work in progress. For me, I think my whole thing is I've been bamboozled enough that I'm always like waiting for the new bamboozlement. That's a word. But what I realize through therapy is that, you know, every person is unique and you can't make someone pay for someone else's mistakes, and you have to learn to trust the process. And so I've developed a process. I developed a structure, even though I despise structure. If I wanted success, I knew I needed to change some things. So I developed a structure for my dating, for my relationships, that I hope will bring better success. And so I'm sharing that with you and hoping that you get some of the things that you want, just like I'm trying to get the things that I want. I just gave myself a little structure, sharing my structure with you, sharing how I want to be disarmed. I don't want to be a serial dater, but I'm going to take my time and make sure I choose the right person before I make a commitment. So I'm not recommitting and recommitting over and over again. So love on you, communicate and observe before you commit. And I think that'll lead you to some success. And while you're doing that, if he's pressuring you because he doesn't like the amount of time it's taking you to, get with the program, why is he rushing you? Because, if you care about someone, if you want someone, you'll be patient with them. So remember that. That's just a little tidbit. I'm going to see you again real soon, and we're going to talk about my third situation, which was the situationship in my dating trilogy. But that's coming, and I'm getting it together for you now. Stay tuned. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let me know what you think. I'm spilling my guts out here. I'm telling you all my stories that I would like to keep in a vault somewhere, but I'm sharing them with you. So reach out to me. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you in the next Lovin Sheila. Bye.